Then a guy fell from his chair.
There was a moment of like medical panic. Is this guy okay? Is he not
I thought
okay?
he was having a heart attack. I thought he
Yeah.
was choking. And he started yelling like, "No, man, oh my God, I feel it, I feel it. No, you shouldn't be messing with it, I feel it." And he was walking on all fours trying to get out of the seance circle. I observed some voodoo practices firsthand. I saw that there was a crowd of people. They kind of part away, and there's a guy. Damn, this dude's dead, man. He's dead on the floor, and they all gathered around. Behind him, like above his head, there's a hole. And it's about this big, and there's a human head inside the hole.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the HORRORble podcast. I have two locals here that actually participate and run these local seances, but I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Doing fantastic. Doing fantastic.
Let's go with you first.
My name is Jake Cordero. I am one half of the Austin Seance, and
This is Albert. I'm the other half of the
Albert
Austin
Lucio?
Seance. Yeah.
we're seance facilitators, so we've been conducting seances for the last decade now.
I want to reverse the clock a little bit. Go back
Sure.
to you guys as kids.
Sure.
What were you guys like as kids? Because I know seances weren't always there, right?
No? What do you want to talk about?
You
Albert?
go first. You travel back further. So
Yeah, I do travel back a bit further. I always enjoyed spooky stuff for sure. I mean,
Okay,
I
so you
enjoyed,
always were. Okay.
but I think that I was fascinated by. I don't know if you remember those. What are they called? The Revell. Those models of the horror, like the Frankenstein,
the
and werewolf-
dioramas, and you put them
dioramas.
together. Yeah.
I love those things, and some of them were glow in the dark, and I loved the old, the classic horror stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This stuff that we're doing now, I probably came to a bit later, and it was gradual.
Albert, specifically, you had sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because I know a lot of people out here have that.
Yeah, sleep paralysis is quite a. The first time you have sleep paralysis, or at least I had, it felt like a religious experience, like because you don't know. Have you ever had sleep paralysis
I
before?
have.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
So I used to have sleep paralysis, and it was mine was demons. I would see a demon. So that would be the thing that I would see. And I've had a lot of crazy stories that are involving it. But one of them is with sleep paralysis. If you ever have it, so the doctors will tell you, or people will tell you, try to blink your eyes to get out of the state of paralysis, right? So I always remember that. So I remember one night I was having a little bit of paralysis state in my apartment that I had with a roommate. And I'd blink, and it was this demon that was standing above me, just kind of like this. And I would see it blink, and demon's gone, and I'm out of it, right?
I never heard this blink thing.
Yeah. Because it helps. It's like just a response to get your body to kick in, because you're in a paralyzed state, right? You're in this hippopompic state. And so so it happened. And then the second time, same night, had a lot of anxiety from work, because it's a parasomnia. It's triggered by that, by anxiety and stress. And so then I'm sleeping, wake up, demon standing above me again, right? And I blink my eyes, and demon's gone.
Okay.
Go back to sleep. I'm like, okay, it's going to be that kind of night. Wake up a third time, sit there, and I see the demon, and it's doing this above me. So I see the silhouette just like reaching above my head, and I blink my eyes, and it's still there.
Oh, it's not going away.
And
now.
I'm like, okay, this is a little bit more scary. And I blink again. I'm like, yep, no, I'm fully awake now. And my dad's a martial artist, and he always taught me that, like, if something's there, they don't want to. If someone's breaking into your house, they don't want to confront you. They just want to get stuff and get out.
Yeah.
So don't corner them, do anything, but you could scare them out. Mm-hmm. So I decided in this moment I was going to jump up on my bed, and I was going to scream at this person and a couple cuss words. So I jump up and I go, "Let's go!" Right, and the person just stops. And he goes, "Oh, dude, I'm trying to find my phone." And it was my roommate. He had gone out drinking. He had gone out drinking, and he couldn't find his phone. So he came in. He was going to use my phone to call his phone. He was trying to find how to turn the light on from the ceiling fan. So he's reaching for the ceiling fan above my bed, doing this, and that's what I was.
Do you think it was him earlier, or do you think before it was actual street paralysis?
No, I think it was actually demons. Yeah, because he wasn't there. But yeah, when he got there, it was pretty funny.
When was the last time you had that? I didn't know you had it as a kid. You said you was into your adulthood.
Oh yeah, no, I still have them. I probably had one like last month.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, Jake, a little bit about you. I know we talked about off camera. We cleared this up a little bit, but you were also sent somewhere as a journalist.
Yeah, I've spent most of my career as a journalist, and in fact, for Austin Seance, we still publish a magazine, so I work in that capacity, and I do freelancing and stuff. But they sent me to various places, and in the early I guess it was the early 1990s. A guy named Jean Bertrand Aristide was elected president of Haiti. And then there was a coup, and he got thrown out, and then we reinstalled him. I was with some other reporters, and they sent me to Haiti to cover that. I observed some voodoo stuff, some voodoo practices firsthand, and I think that, I think most people, myself included, only kind of connection with that is something we get from the mass media, and you kind of hear about it and all that. I didn't really. I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't really think about it at all. I was just there. I didn't realize it was a thing. It is a thing.
Yeah.
I remember there was like a riot or something at some point, and it looked like a guy was about to get lynched or something. It looked bad, and the guy was running. They were beating him, but he had dropped something out of his pocket, and it was a little red piece of material. And I noticed that people were real intent on beating this guy up. He got away, but then he dropped the stuff like out of his pocket, and they just left it alone. Like they all backed away from it.
And you touched it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a little piece of red cloth. And my driver said, what the hell are you doing?
You can cuss on this show.
Okay.
So speak as free as you want on here.
Yeah, the driver's like, what are you doing? Don't touch that. Don't touch that. And it was a talisman that he had to protect him. And, I think that they considered it was extremely bad luck for anyone else to take possession of it. And it was like they were really freaked out that I even got close to it. And so I remember, I was like, okay, well, I'll do that.
That might have been your best protection in Haiti.
Yeah, it might have been my best protection in Haiti. Yeah, it was really great. I love the country, and I'm sad that they've got so many problems at the moment because I always told my wife I'd go back if I could.
Yeah.
It's a lovely country. But the other thing that happened, and I tried to get this in the newspaper, and it was so over the top they wouldn't print it. And so I wrote an article about it. It was never printed. So we were driving, and I was with my driver, and I saw that there was a crowd of people who had gathered around, and they seemed to be very agitated. And again, it looked like somebody was about to get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
It was the middle of it was basically a civil war was basically what was going on. So it was pretty lawless. Right. And so
everything goes.
There's no police, there's no cops, there's no nothing. And the only authority there was that they had these Humvees with U.S. military personnel. That was it. So anyway, it looked like some guy was about to get lynched or something. So I got out. People were agitated, and they were gathered around a tree. And they're agitated and screaming, and I could not tell exactly kind of what they were screaming about.
And you got out.
I got out.
He also touched a red piece of fabric.
Yeah, I got out.
He putting himself in all the worst positions.
I got out. And so I had a notepad, and I had my thing, and, whatever. They assumed that I was a reporter. And I kind of tried to muscle my way through this crowd, and the crowd was super, like...
And you muscling through people while they agitated.
Yeah, they're agitated, and so I'm muscling through this crowd, trying to figure out what the hell's going on, and there's a tree. And I thought, I kind of want to stand up to do this and screw up the microphone, so I'll try to explain it sitting down. But so I'm muscling through, the crowd kind of parts a little bit, and I look down, and there's like people, it's like chest to chest, right? I keep walking, and it's still there, and they kind of part away, and there's a guy. And they kind of part, and he's like there, and I was like, oh, damn, this dude's dead, man. He's dead on the floor, and they all gathered around. And so I'm leaning down, and people are like, they're saying something to me, and my translator is telling me that they think this guy was had done some sort of a hex on Jean Bertrand Aristide, the president of the country, and that he was trying to hex him and curse him. And so that they had come and attacked him because they caught him red-handed because he was trying to dig something up. He was trying to dig something up in order to sort of do this curse. And so that's why they attacked him, and so he's dead. And I think, oh man, they killed this guy. And I'm leaning over, and the guy eyes pop open.
It's like a scary movie.
Yeah. His eyes pop open, and he's like, and he's like freaking out. And behind him, there's a hole. Behind him, like above his head, there's a hole.
Okay.
and there's something in the damn hole. And I didn't know, like, I don't want to go look at the hole. And it's about this big, and there's a human head inside the hole. And there's a human head, and there's some feathers and some other stuff in there.
So he was doing some type of voodoo.
And so apparently,
Right.
and there was a human head. I don't know whether he dug the head up
Right.
or what, but there was a human head, and there was like feathers and some other stuff in there. And that was like he had dug this hole beneath this tree and was doing, who knows. He saw I was there. I guess he recognized me as an American, and he got up and he kind of got behind me.
As protection?
As protection.
Yeah.
So, and so I'm like,
Jake putting himself in all the worst positions.
and they're all like really mad at him.
Yeah.
And they're like going crazy. And I saw some soldiers on the Humvee pretty close, American soldiers. And so I walked up, and these guys are all screaming at him. And this guy was with me behind me. I said, "Come with me." And I told
you protecting him.
I told the soldier. I said the soldier on the Humvee was like some grunt on this Humvee. And I said, "Dude, you gotta take this guy into custody because these other guys are gonna kill him right now. They're gonna kill him right now. They're about to kill this guy." And soldiers go like, "Who are you?" It's like, "I'm with the newspaper. You need to take this guy into custody."
Yeah.
And he goes, "All right. As you were, go ahead, continue walking." I'm like, no. You're not hearing the words coming out of my mouth. Yeah. You need to take this guy. If you leave this guy out here, they will kill him right now. Yeah. And so he called their commanding officer, and they got him. But I went back and looked at it, and they explained to me there was a damn head in that hole, and they said that he was doing a spell to curse the president, and that's why they had gotten so agitated. So that was one thing I saw.
What kind of spell involves somebody else's head?
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
That's a seance for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man! All right,
that's a long story. I'm sorry I went off on that tangent.
No problem.
I like the wind. Like the wind kind of kicked in right back right when you're like, and there was a head in the hole.
That's how it gets out here for sure. So growing up, did you guys believe in the paranormal? Were you guys skeptics? Like, at what point did you guys think like, okay, it's real?
Well, that's an interesting question because you probably flipped the other way.
Yeah, I flipped the other way. Yeah.
Because I think you were much more of a believer now than you before.
Yeah. I was much more of a believer as a kid than I am now.
So I got a non-believer in front of me.
Yeah.
Something may happen out here.
I when you're telling us about the stuff that may happen, I'm excited. Like I get excited.
Who knows?
You know.
So what about you, Jake?
I'm kind of the opposite tack, maybe. I'm much more open to the possibilities than I used to be. But I know that people feeling all sorts of crazy stuff in the seance rooms, and it's pretty weird.
Gotcha.
And we do our best to really provide these authentic experiences, but we're not doing anything. We're not controlling anything. We are just allowing people to experience what they're going to experience in the room, and sometimes it's quite odd.
This is so interesting to me now, because I didn't know that you were basically a non-believer.
Yeah.
You used to non-believe, but now you're open to it.
That's probably fair.
But you guys run seances.
Yeah.
So how did this happen? Like, okay, hold on. Before we even get there,
Okay.
how did you guys meet?
Jake was doing some stuff, doing a little street show.
My daughter was a street psychic, so we were busking over on out in Austin.
Street psychic.
Yeah. So she'd read minds and stuff, and we were busking. We were sort of out there, for tips.
Yeah.
Or my wife would like to say we were begging.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, one way to put it.
You went out begging this weekend? So it's busking. It's busking. Yeah. So we were busking. Yeah. And so anyway, we did that for 2-3 years, and the show was fairly successful. And Albert came out to see us, and
we started talking. And I found out he had a spirit cabinet. And so spirit cabinet, they kind of came in the 1880s, but they were big boxes, like kind of like an armoire, and they would lock a medium inside of it, or sometimes they'd have him sit in front. And so Jake had one from
that he built
that he used to lock his daughter in.
Because she would do seances. We do seances. We do seances in our house. And so I'd lock her up in the closet. I'm not in the closet. Well, the same thing. I'd lock her up in the armoire. Yeah, no. Well, now she's got PTSD, but she's fine. She's still paying for the therapy, but it's okay. So, so anyway, we'd lock her in the spirit cabinet, and we'd have these seances, and she'd scream and scream. But it was,
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe and not
No.
believe at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah. So yeah, so he had the spirit cabinet,
Yeah.
and so we started talking about it, and the idea that got pitched was like, let's do something that's very sincere, let's do something that's very authentic to the seance and to the history and of spiritualism, and really kind of started with the idea you can go home and do it yourself. Like everything that we're using,
okay.
you can go and do that.
I mean, the other thing too is that, you talked about like, how are you guys doing this? I mean, if you're a skeptic or an agnostic or whatever, what have you, and it works very well. And I think we make a good team because we come at slightly different approaches. But what we agree on is that we're facilitators, and so during our sessions we don't claim to be mediums. And so I think that a lot of the issues with even historical seances and others or whatever is that you always are going to question the medium. Like, well, he or she says they feel this and feel that and feel this. It's like, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
We invite our sitters themselves to reach into themselves and to feel their own intuitive nature, and so we kind of we make them into the mediums. And so when our sitters themselves will be experiencing these things, and so from our sitters themselves will tell us, I felt my grandfather was here, or I felt that my cousin was here, or whatever, and they said this to me, or we had this, and these are the testimonies of people that are with us.
What we do is we provide the tools. We provide you the instructions. It's a series of demonstrations that are going to kind of scaffold on each other as we go through the night. And again, you go home and you go, I can do this.
Okay.
And you open up your junk drawer and you go, I've got the same items here. I can do this. And so that's really the idea. So now you can go and explore it yourself.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We hearing that?
Yeah. There's some talking up there.
Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're hearing some noises already.
Yeah, weird, man.
The seance that we do, like I said, it's scaffold, so it starts off very rudimentary, and it's really just sitting in the dark and listening. It's called a call and reply seance. Simply, spirits, if you're out there and you can hear me, give us a sign.
And it happens?
And then we sit like this.
Does it ever happen?
Yeah,
Do you ever get signs?
There's quite often,
Absolutely.
but it's not like the movies. Like the movies always played up real good, right? Because they're
Right.
very dramatic, and so you have all kinds of things that are occurring, and they can be. But sometimes it's just the smallest. Like if we're sitting here, spirits give us a sign, and then there's in the woods maybe
Crackling
a
or
crack or something, or like a rustling, or the wind blows at the right time, or the one of these lights begins to wiggle, and then we go, okay, let's see if that's a sign. Spirits, is this your sign? And then we wait. And so it starts off this very slow process of establishing, is there something here? And then we begin to form. And then as we go through the process of the seance, by the end, we may be using other kind of devices or other items. And again, these are stuff that you have. So you're getting this, you may see 6 different methods by which you can try to commune with the spirits.
How long have you guys been doing this for?
About a decade, 10 years now.
So 10 years in.
Mm-hmm.
What has been the difference? What's the biggest difference from the first one to now?
I kind of feel like sometimes we're chasing that first seance. The first time that Jake and I did it, we had no idea if anybody would be interested in it. We didn't know if anybody cared. Jake was like, let's just give the tickets away for free. And I'm like, we got to charge something so that people will actually show up and not just reserve a spot. And that first seance, there's people that felt like cold hands touching them, doors being pulled. Like it was a very active, intense session.
We've over the years we've added stuff, we've removed stuff, things that we worked okay, and then we decided we don't want to use anymore. And I think I joked at one point like, well, we could let's sacrifice a goat.
Yo.
Yeah.
I was like, it's Austin, man. It'll work.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Y'all gotta, I might need to miss out on that one.
Yeah.
So that was an idea that didn't fly.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things. We kind of pace it in a way where you get to have your experience and then walk away with something that's really bizarre. Sometimes Jake and I scare ourselves in there.
Oh, yeah.
There are times where something happens. That's the beautiful part about the seances. We've done this 10 years, right? And there's been a few times where stuff happens and we look at the sitters in the room and they're just kind of smiling, waiting for something. And it was like, that was that was the moment. As an example, as we came out of a guided meditation and we're asking the spirits for a sign, and Jake and I were all, it's just kind of dark, and we're sitting there, and Jake has gone down the aisle and he's facing me, and I'm in the front of the room facing him, and there's just like this boom, and this like kind of like a little ball of blast that just kind of hits you in the chest.
You could feel it,
and
you
it's
could feel it in
deep,
your
right?
bones.
Boom, right? And we look around, the sitters are just smiling, and I'm just staring at Jake, and he's just like,
We both felt it.
what was that? And we're looking at it, and we're like, that was the moment. That was it right there. But, you know, it's part of what we're doing, not only like making it accessible, is kind of getting people used to this idea that it's this little anomaly that you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
This strange thing. And it's these serendipitous moments where like everything just aligns too perfectly, and you go, that's something right there. You know?
Where did the very first one take place?
First seance?
In a metal shed.
Our first seance or the first seance in history?
No, the first seance that y'all did.
Oh, in a metal shed.
In the metal shed.
In a metal shed.
The first seance in history was in 1848.
Yeah.
We know that too. But the first our seance was in February or something?
It was the end of January, beginning of February.
Yeah, in a metal shed here in Austin.
At the Vortex.
What you mean? Hold on. Explain a metal shed.
And they have a courtyard, and they've got this spooky metal shed that's over 100 years old. It's pretty. I mean,
It's 14 by 16 feet. It's not a very big.
So it's not that big.
It's not
this
that
is
big.
intimate.
We used to do them in the middle of summer. It'd be 90-something degrees outside.
Sweating.
And it's like sweating in there.
Sweating.
Old revival style, like collar open and hand
with
fans.
hand fans.
We've done it in the middle of winter there when we first started doing it. But
balls off. It's terrible.
But
That's crazy.
one of the craziest part about the shed is we go into the seance, and we talk, and there are, because we're in a kind of their garden area, food and drinks are outside, so people are sitting on tables talking, and there's maybe 100 people, maybe more, and you can hear them outside. And then we get into the seance proper, and we call on the spirits, and the room just becomes quiet, and you don't notice it at first. And then as the seance is going, you know, somebody will say like, it's really quiet outside, and it's almost like this bubble. And then once we get done with the seance, and we thank the spirits, and we ask them to depart, immediately you could hear
Everybody
the
else
din
on the
of the
outside.
people outside. And it's such a bizarre, strange feeling when you realize that like there's
Y'all got some noise canceling going on.
I wish. Yeah,
the spirits are noise canceling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a strange experience to be in there. Yeah.
One of our last sessions this year, a medium that was there, like went into convulsions and it was crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was talking in Spanish, and I mean, it was almost like she was speaking in tongues, and she was like saying all this stuff, and it was a really weird.
That happened at the seance.
Oh yeah. We've had sometimes we have like a radio just playing white noise, just shh, right? And it's in between stations. And I think one of them we had was like a Spanish speaker. This was years ago, and Jake will ask somebody to call out the letters of the alphabet, and they're calling out the letters of the alphabet, and the radio starts squawking back in Spanish, and so then they start asking questions, and the radio's squawking Spanish. Yeah, it's a very strange experience.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. How did your roles naturally divide between the two of you?
I think it's our personalities. I think like Jake, he's like our philosopher, our nurturer. He is he's kind of the agnostic and kind of that. And I think in my role, I'm very much the social scientist and the historian person. So,
Gotcha.
And sometimes it can get a little scary. And I think there's a famous study that you learn in psychology, which is called the Milgram study. It's where they have two people. One person's supposed to learn words, the other person is supposed to teach them the words, and every word this person gets wrong, you give them an electrical shock, right? And they're like in another room, and then every time they get it wrong, you turn up the shock, and eventually this person starts calling in distress. I can't do this, and you are teaching them, and you're having to push the button, and you go, I don't want to do this anymore. And the experimenter just simply says, we need to continue. And so then you'll continue. And so people will comply with this, and they just kind of continue, and they continue to the point where the person in the room is not even making any noise. And it sounds like they may be in medical distress. They can't do this anymore. It's unethical in psychology, but this was in the 50s. So in some sense, when things get kind of crazy in the room, and Jake's like, I think we need to slow down, I go, we need to continue.
And we've had that. We've had that on occasion. And we've had to shut it down a few times when it was like kind of out of control, or people were getting too upset, and so sometimes we'll soldier on. But
see, that was a question I had for y'all later on. But while we're here, let's talk about it, because has it ever crossed y'all mind that y'all may be stepping into something that y'all didn't fully understand?
What I think that, and we talk about this in the seance room, is I'm a fervent believer that people are more haunted than houses. And it is the energy that you put out in the world is the energy you're going to get back, right? We all have a friend that's always down on their luck. But that's part of that is that perspective on life, right? That they're really fixated and perseverating on those things. And I think when you have a lot of anxiety, what are you going to get back from the universe? You're going to get that anxiety back, right? You're going to get that fear. So when we do our seances, a big part of it is we want to bring you to a calm state. So we do a guided meditation. We have you envision a candle that's going to be there for your protection. And if you get scared, if you get fearful, you can return back to that candle.
I mean, your question, I think, has to do with whether we're messing with something that's dangerous or something. For the most part, our sessions have never felt that way, for the most part.
It's a good thing.
They've been scary. There's been some
There's
scary
been some
sessions.
scary ones. Now, I'm not saying that without exception,
Yeah.
but for the most part, they've been fun. People are laughing. They're having a good time. Sometimes the messages that we receive that end up on the chalkboard are funny. Sometimes the feelings, the sensations, people are funny or they're sad.
Someone gets a cat in the room.
A cat in the room. So we'll get different things. So and so it's fine. And then on those occasions where something kind of goes off the rails and I feel freaked out or people are freaked out, and we tell people it'll be fine, although,
But that's our role as facilitators. I think is to
Facilitators,
be.
just
I think
calm.
a big part of and this is a big part of us being facilitators of the seance is to be very attuned to our sitters, right? And so if they're getting uncomfortable and the anxiety is rising, then we need to bring that anxiety back down, right? So sometimes things may start to get intense, and we'll say, "Everybody breathe," like let's all breathe, and that radio that starts to get real quiet, and like the lights start to kind of feel like they're coming like down, and so
you're not saying we must go on at that point.
Sometimes I'm like, let's continue. So, when I was a ghost hunter, I think I mentioned earlier, I was more scared of the physical person. If a ghost wants to beat me up, catch it on camera. Let's do it.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I go on a ghost hunt, I'm kind of antagonizing.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it to where I'm calling it names, but I'm like, I need you to show me something.
Yeah.
And that's the type of person I am, where
Yeah.
I want to catch it on camera and figure it out and not be able to explain it myself.
Yeah.
The biggest thing to be scared about is just on the emotional level. People will panic on occasion. People get freaked out on occasion. Sometimes Albert, who's got a background in psychology, sometimes, Albert will go and try to calm them down, and I'll continue the session as Albert goes and talks to whoever's having an episode. That happens. We have some protocols for that.
I remember a session where we had somebody who was a skeptic, and they were very loud and vocal about it, right? And we allow people to talk. It's okay. It's a space. And he was just very just abrasive as we were doing the history and explaining what to expect. And then we go into the session, we go in the seance, and within 10 minutes, he gets up and he's barreling out that door, and he's full like freak out. Something had touched him, and he was like,
this is like
he
a hardcore
felt something, and he was
shit.
having it. And so I'm out there talking to him, and okay, let's take a breath in, breathe out. Okay, all right, you feeling good? Do you want to go back in? He's like, and he was like not prepared for this moment, right? And so it's guiding him back to a place where he feels safe.
Right.
And then he came back in, he sat down, and at the end he apologized to everybody about his behavior. He did not know what to expect.
Right.
The other thing that happens, and I think I told you before, that we kind of approach this whole endeavor as sort of Victorian sort of playfulness, right? And it's fun. And so quite frequently, or not infrequently, we'll get someone will reach out to us, and they'll be grieving, and they've lost a loved one, they've lost a husband or a wife or a child or something terrible, a mother, and they're wanting to make contact, and they'll call us up, and we're very clear about our ethical lines, and we don't traffic in grief. We don't do that. It's a slippery slope. And so I think a lot of people have been taken advantage of by unethical people. So we try to we draw that line.
I hear you 100%. I'm glad I love asking questions, because you guys broke it down perfectly to where now I think it even gives it more credibility when you go there. If you have something happen,
it's
you
not us.
Can't deny it.
It's not us.
Yeah.
It's not us.
Not us.
And I feel like we are. I feel like we have a lot of credibility in that regard.
Yeah.
I think people that know us kind of know where we're coming from. We're very honest during the sessions. I mean, he's very honestly a skeptic in the sessions, and I'm not, but we have these both polls in the sessions, and I think it works.
Yeah. Can y'all walk me through what a common seance would look like for you guys? It doesn't have to be in full depth, but just a small breakdown of it.
Typically, during the course of the session, Albert will take out a chalkboard and we'll start calling out letters and numbers. As he mentioned, this is like from the 1848 seance, call and reply, and we're using devices, what people are feeling, what people are sensing, what they're hearing, what they may sense personally, and we'll parse out a message.
So people will blurt out letters or words?
So we'll have we may, say spirits will you speak to me, spirits we speak to me, and people will go around and then we get a sign and then we'll ask you to start calling out letters. So you go A,
that's amazing.
B, C, and then we'll get a sign, right? And we write that down.
Gotcha,
and then we go through that A, B, C, and sometimes it's gibberish, sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it makes sense later. And so we'll do that. Can you give us a name? Can you tell us how you passed? And so we're trying to get as much information, but we're condensed in the amount of time that we have. Most seances traditionally were 3, 4, 5 hours long, sometimes longer than that, especially if you're doing A, B, C kind of thing. So we'll parse out something from there, and then from that we may move on to a different kind of system to go. So it's very binary, like yes, no, and then we may call out words, we may call out names. We may have people hold up cards that have different words on them. People will write questions before we begin, and we'll read them, and we see if we get anything back. And so it kind of progresses as it goes into more complex ways to speak to the spirits.
Invariably, probably near 100%, we will get some sign of contact. Then the next level of success is we piece together a number of messages. It'll be letters and words. Not words, it'll be letters and numbers. And it's not immediately clear what that means. Then we have and we get that, and then the lights will come up and we'll talk about it, and we're trying to parse out the meaning. And people may come later on and say this meant this, it meant that, but it's not clear to us. Then the third level of success is we get something and the message pretty fucking clear. It'll say Sally was here and she lived in 1963 and it was a motorcycle accident, right? And then the next level of success is, Sally was here. It's 1963 motorcycle accident. Oh, no, that my sister's name was Sally or something. It'll be like, not only did we get a message, but it'll be very specific
to a person in the room.
And so we've had that entire spectrum of success in the session.
Gotcha.
And then, and then on top of that, we may get sitters
who are intuitive
and who are physically, sometimes quite visibly physically affected by what's going on. And we've had that on occasion if we have mediums or intuitives in the audience. And among the sitters, we had a session, like I said, this last October, where a woman medium kind of just went into convulsing and was
into trance
and started blurting out words in Spanish, and I couldn't write them down fast enough because she was just like blurting out this stuff.
You think that was a possession?
No, they were trance medium, so they were kind of practicing that. There's like a collective of women that get together and they will sometimes come to our sessions, and so she was one of them. And so she was connecting with the spirit of, I can't remember who it was. And so we'll get people that will go into trances. Sometimes we get, and there's different types of mediumship. Sometimes we'll get people that are just sensing things, and they go like, I'm sensing a woman here who's this age and this young. Sometimes, sometimes we'll get people think, I keep hearing this word. There was a session where we had a woman that kept hearing voices. And when we say voices, we don't mean like auditory over your ear, just in your inner ear. And she said, there's a elderly man who's calling out this name. Are you here? And said the person's name. We keep all these private. We don't talk about a lot of this stuff outside the seance room because some of these are very personal experiences. And nobody, said anything and continued. We continue the seance. And then again, she's like, this elderly man is saying this name. Are you here? Nothing. And we get done. And the woman comes up to talk to Jake and I about what to do. What does this mean? And we start talking about it. And another lady comes up. She goes, that was actually my name. And I know who you were speaking to.
Wow.
Can we make that connection again?
Yeah.
So we get it in a lot of different ways that people may connect. Sometimes people get it tactily, so they'll feel like intense cold, intense heat.
Or they'll
sometimes
feel like their
something
hands on their
touching
shoulders or
their
something.
shoulders, numbness in their fingertips, things moving around their legs. Sometimes people may see things that are
corner of
kind of
their eye.
moving or shifting. Yeah.
Usually almost very common, and it's a very physical reaction, and we get this a lot, is usually when the seance, very beginning, as we're inviting the spirits into the room, that the sitters often will feel it. They will feel that moment. They'll feel the moment when the spirits sort of come into the room. They'll feel a chill.
It's like a heavy, damp moment. Yeah.
And they'll go around the room, and they'll feel a chill as the room changes. And we've had... it was quite a startling thing where a guy, it was a different session we had, a guy, we got these messages, they were right on point. I can't even remember the details now, but people were playing with Ouija boards in a separate part of the park, and then they showed up to the session, and then somehow the message that they got it was like a cross or something, was something that we got in the session itself. So in 2 different sessions, they were getting the same messages. Then a guy fell from his chair, said he was being possessed by something, and was being convulsed and started convulsing during the session.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen somebody just full on blank out?
Yes.
Where it seemed like a possession, and this is what we're...
Yeah,
that was it.
That was probably the only time. We've had people that kind of got into trance.
We had people going into trance, and that was
Yeah, but this guy went full, went down hard.
He went down hard. So we were in a circle.
Well, we should preface this because it's a crazy story, but it's also kind of funny in a way because where it happened, because it was at a haunted park. Right?
It was at a haunted park.
And
it was in the woods, kind of like this. It was pretty creepy.
Like a haunted house park.
It was like a haunted house park.
Haunted attraction. Okay. Not a park that's haunted.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Maybe it's haunted.
All right.
But
so a haunted attraction that is woodsy.
Woodsy. We're out in the woods.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so just to add sort of spooky context is that, the owners of the park said that
there's a cemetery.
It was a cemetery there. I suspect if that was indeed the case, it was it was unmarked, but they were told that there was a cemetery there. It was probably a slave cemetery, I'm suspecting, because it was unmarked, and there's a long, sad, screwed up history of those sorts of cemeteries in this state. So I suspect it would have been a slave cemetery. I went there the day before we were to appear with my wife because we had to go and, do something, set something up or something. But I saw it with my wife. My wife is, she hate me saying this, but she's a little bit intuitive. And she said she felt really bad. She felt really bad in that little clearing. She told me, I don't like this at all. And the owners of the park said that they had some ghost hunters out there, and the ghost hunters had all went out to investigate, and they all got sick and nauseated and had to leave. And so that was sort of the milieu that sort of set the whole thing up. We were running session after session after session. It was like a hayride. People would come out, and we did a bunch of sessions back to back. And again, they got weirder and weirder as the night went on. The last one we had, this thing happened, and we had to stop.
Yeah.
We had to stop it. And that was probably the only time, maybe.
Yeah. So the guy
that
kind
would
of
be
fell
the only time we
fell
stopped.
down, and there was a moment of medical panic. Is this guy okay? Is he not
I thought
okay?
he was having a heart attack. I thought he was choking.
So he was
he started
spazzing
coughing
out.
and just could not stop coughing.
Well,
and
it was more than that. I mean, he was in his chair, and he
started to cough.
He started coughing, and then he started really retching. And I thought he was choking. I thought he was having a heart attack. And then he
tried to stand up.
And he fell back.
Oh, shit.
And he started yelling oh my God, I feel it. No, you shouldn't be messing with it. I feel it. And he was walking on all fours trying to get out of the sound circle. And
the other sitters thought, because we were in a haunted attraction park,
they thought
that this was some kind of
actor. They thought it was a paid actor.
Yeah. And so
they thought it was a paid actor.
Yeah, they thought it was a paid actor. And I'm like, okay, let's continue. And they were like, no, this is part of the action. What's going on? It's this is not it. We need it. And we're trying to get on a radio to get somebody to come.
We had to call the park people to get the radio to come out to pick this guy up. And so we went and talked to him. We stopped it. We stopped the seance. And he told me.
But everybody sat there waiting, thinking,
he thought
this is an actor. This is part of it.
Yeah.
When's the ride going to continue?
Yeah.
And so he told me that his body was possessed. that he felt something took over his body. He felt that it was with him for a long time. He was shook up. He remained shook up. I went after the session to go check on him. He was getting a drink of water with his friends and trying to catch himself. He said he did not remember what had happened. He was totally blacked out, did not remember what had occurred. But he said he was just really upset. He was really agitated. I checked on him later on. I sent him an email or something. He said he had, he continued to have nightmares for several days afterwards, apparently. But he told me that he felt like there was something that grabbed him, that there was something on him, that possessed him, and was holding him during the course of the session. That, Albert makes fun of me. This is an example of us, our differences. He makes fun of me. That night, I mean, it was a weird ass night. Yeah. It was a really weird ass night. It was. I thought it was pretty scary. It was very interesting, but it was scary. Yeah. That night, I went home, and I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up.
Let me know. Tell me.
So that night, I'm in bed, like the whole thing's over. Middle of the night. No, I think it wasn't that night. It was a week later.
It was a week later. I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a week later. It was a week later. Precisely a week later. So it was like I suddenly heard something in my house. It was a week later. I looked at the clock. It was about the same time, exactly a week later from this happened, but it was like the precise time, pretty close to the precise time when we had that session. And I heard my dogs, like there was like a growling or something. I thought that they were fighting like a raccoon or something had gotten in the house.
Yeah.
It was like it was like a giant, terrifying, growling fight with a wolf in my bedroom. And so I'm hearing this wolf, this dogs, and I'm like, what the hell? And I jump out of bed because I thought an animal had gotten in the house.
Yeah.
And my dogs are just sleeping, and they're sleeping, and there's nothing in the house. And I looked at the clock, and it was like whatever we woke up, maybe it came home to my house too. So
your dogs weren't in a panic or anything?
They were asleep. There was nobody. The house was dead quiet. There was nothing in the house. And it was, I'm telling you, I was not asleep. It was like a giant, like there was a wolf in the house fighting with something. It was like, I had this growling.
That's crazy.
So, and
Did you go check down?
Yeah, I got up. Yeah, I got up. There was like, no, the house was, and that was creepier because the house was completely dark.
Yeah.
The dogs were completely asleep. It was just, and I've had those sorts of experiences on occasion after seances where really, something freaky's happened. And so I don't know what to make of it, but it was pretty freaky. So if something was woken up that night, maybe I took it home.
After you guys witnessed something like that, right? With the guy going into I guess we can call it possession of some sort, because that's what he called it.
Yeah.
You guys ever question or have the conversation of like, maybe we should stop this?
No. I mean, we talk about like what happened. We talk about what happened. We want to make sure the person's okay. And that was definitely a one-off. It's not a situation where that, the people that we've had who've gone into trances have typically been, trained mediums that they come and they will go into a trance or they'll send stuff. This one was not that circumstance. And, I don't think that it changed much. I think what we did was just assessed and made sure like people were aware. Like, again, we always try to reaffirm people on how to come back and let us know where they're at. And I think that, it's a part of our due diligence, but it's hard because we can't control how someone's going to respond in certain situations.
I think that, like, as I said, we've been doing this for a decade.
Hundreds of these things. Yeah.
And so the worst thing that's happened to me is, these terrifying experiences at my house. But that's it. I'm still here.
I mean, some people watching this will be like, I don't want that shit.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Don't do it. That's right.
We both had them.
Yeah.
We both had them, and
If you're somebody who's like, I'm not doing that, then don't do it, right? Like,
and we tell people in the session.
Yeah.
We say, look, this you may go home, and this may happen to you.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna die. I don't, but you may,
Well, I think I think part of it is, I think with a ghost, because I used to do a whole bunch of stuff with different ghost hunting groups and hang out and go on these things. And I think it's part of that as well is like, as a ghost hunter, you're going out there and you're trying to find the ghost, right? And I remember hanging out with one group and they would hear something and they'd all run. And it's like trying to get the pest control guy to come catch a cockroach and they're freaking out and running, right? So if you don't have like the fortitude to go and do it, don't do it, right? If you're not going to be able to if you don't have that confidence, because it is about, I think that there's so much about this that is about that intention. We have people that say, my house has the spirit, I could feel it, I've cleansed it 5 times. Well, when you cleansed it, what was your intention? Did you have that fortitude and this spirit, you must leave, you're going to go, or you're like, I'm really hoping this is going to work, and am I doing it? Like, if you're not putting that out there, then what are you going to get back is something that is not as good, right?
Gotcha.
You're not doing the industrial strength cleaning.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say about this too, and this is sort of from a perspective of channeling the believer, actually, is that I feel as if when people come and they have experiences and they feel things, and they're having a very personal experience, it's typically who they feel like they're making contact with is typically someone that they love. And so a lot of those and experiences I've actually had, it may be a family member, it may be I've felt the presence of my father on occasion, and it's something that people, and so far from being terrified, they often feel warmth. And so I feel like that is much, much, much more common than this guy that's freaking out and having the convulsions.
Yeah.
Almost invariably, people will become very emotional. They're not scared.
Yeah.
They're emotional because they felt the presence of their grandmother. Yeah. They felt the presence of someone they love. And so what they feel in the room often is love, not terror. And the other part of it, though, is that, what you talked about is when scary stuff happens. That's also fun.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it is fun.
That's also fun. Yeah, that's also fun. So I feel pretty good about both sides. We've had scary stuff happen, and thumbs up on that. I was like, it was all right.
That's fun. It was a fun ride.
I mean, shit, the scariest thing y'all had happen. People asking for more.
I mean, to be honest, if I went to a seance and somebody goes, all the seances I have are terrifying, they're scary, all these kind of things, dark, scary things happen, I'd be like, I'm not going to that seance, right? I don't feel that's like going to a used car salesman.
I tell you,
some people may go.
I mean, they may go, but it's kind of it may be a great time. But I think I would be more worried about a facilitator or somebody who is harnessing or trying to get that scary kind of stuff to occur. Because when it occurs, it can be unsettling.
If Jake brings in the goat, that's when it starts happening.
That's right.
That's when things start getting real spooky.
Yeah.
I wanna touch on this shortly. Yeah. Because I know you have, Albert specifically, you have a background in psychology, right?
Sociology.
Psychology. Yeah. Jake specifically said something, and I want to pinpoint this. You guys speak on the intent, and usually people come in and they'll make some type of communication with the loved one.
Sometimes we don't know. Yeah.
Right. But
it's common.
Right? Okay. Do you think that they may have gone in with that intent of reaching a loved one, and that may be something that they are psychologically looking for, which can bring in experience?
I think there's a lot of ways that we create experiences, and experiences are set for us. And I think that the way that we, so I would say my sleep paralysis, and the reason why I see demons is probably very much because I went to Catholic school, right? And so I think that there's that part.
I think because he's seen demons.
Jake thinks I've seen demons, and I think that people, and I think that there are people that definitely come with the hope and expectation that they're going to speak to a loved one or see a loved one. Right. We try to make sure that they are aware that that's not our attempt and that's not what we're doing, but. I think they do, and with that expectation, they get that. But that also goes with that intention, right? So, as a believer, that experience that I'm having is that experience with that loved one. And as me, as the skeptic, I can't disprove that. I can't, that's, first of all, that's not my job as a facilitator, but second is there's no way I can disprove that you felt that connection. And I think that that's a big part. When Jake and I talk about people who are grieving and they want to speak to, somebody who passed away, oftentimes, I'll tell them, like, you're the vessel to speak to them, right? You're the one that knew them. You're the one that can do that. Here are some things you can do. Meditate. As you go to sleep, concentrate. Think about that loved one. Have that conversation with them as you're falling asleep, and you may have that experience, right? You may have a dream where that person came and spoke to you. What we'll say is there's a phone, an app that lets you know if you snore or not. Yeah. Put that by your bed. Think about the person you want to connect with and go to sleep. And in the morning, you may find a couple things. You may find, electronic voice phenomenon, somebody speaking to you in that recording of the night. You may find you are sleep talking to somebody in that thing, or you may find out you have sleep apnea and need to see a doctor. But it works all the way around. But it's those things, and I think that for me, it's that connection. And I've have my own personal experiences with like loss and death and grief. I've held the hands of a couple people who've passed away as they did that, and that's a very impactful thing, right? And so that desire to connect with them again is very real. And I have those conversations. Sometimes, my grandfather, I'll have a conversation with him, or my grandmother. My dog passed away last year, and I will come home and I'll have a conversation with him, just like he was there. And I think that desire is there, and I hope for that. Like, I hope that when I go, I get reunited with all of them. And I hope that they may show up in my house one day and say hello,
Yeah, yeah. I think also people will come in, like you mentioned, and they may be looking with an idea and intent that they want to make a certain connection. And invariably, not maybe invariably, but it's quite frequently the case that they will not make that connection, but they'll make a connection with somebody else that they were not expecting. And so we get a lot of that. Yeah. People will say, like, well, I was really hoping to make contact with my grandmother, but that didn't come
But I'll
true.
Take my Uncle Jerry instead.
My Uncle Jerry. And apparently Uncle Jerry comes
shout
through.
Out to Jerry.
Yeah. So shout out to Uncle Jerry. Yeah. So, yeah, we get a lot of that. So people will come in with certain expectations, and those expectations may not be fulfilled, but then something else will happen.
I want to ask this question, and you guys don't have to say any names, but I just think
Uncle Jerry.
I want a clear cut. Yeah, we can say Jerry,
Okay.
but I want a clear cut answer for this.
Okay.
You guys do seances. Have you guys ever come across people that fake these things?
Fake seances?
Yes.
Or
you haven't experienced it?
If I see something that would be a fraudulent seance that we've experienced and seen, is somebody who's a magician, who is doing magic tricks, and but that, I think it's very plain faced. You can see kind of what the show is, right? They may come out and be,
I don't know, man. Magic getting kind of good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good magicians out there. There's some good magicians out there, but I think oftentimes magicians are gonna they come out with a different type of persona and gravitas and presentation, and so I think that's where you're gonna see it. And there's some really strong, powerful tricks out there that are done, and you can't control the belief of the individual that's experiencing that. But I think that's the only realm that we've been in. A lot of times, what you typically see is mediumistic or called mental mediumship, and that is where somebody's channeling the spirit and they're speaking and providing messages.
Gotcha.
And not the spooky stuff. Now we've gone to the spiritualist church and we've seen ectoplasm and we've seen spoon bending and we've seen all of that stuff, and it's been pretty cool stuff.
Hold on.
Yeah, the spiritualist church is great, man.
Yeah,
spoon bending. So the Matrix, like the actual spin.
Yeah. It's not so much like this. It's a little bit different, but yeah, spoon bending.
Yeah, and
but a person was doing this.
Yeah. You take a spoon and you rub it, and then
I've done it.
Yeah.
You can do
Hold
that.
on. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's not. The way it works.
We'll leave it to the church.
You go to church. Yeah, we've had something in our little magazine about it, but you basically go into a kind of a trance, a meditative state, and you have a spoon or a piece of silverware, be a fork or whatever, and you hold it in your hand as you go into a trance, and you just kind of
concentrate, focus your energy,
and you focus your energy, and you kind of rub it, and you'll feel.
The moment it's ready,
you'll feel like it'll start getting warm. It'll feel warm, and then it'll start to feel like kind of taffy, and then it'll just kind of bend.
Yeah.
And
it feels very strange. Like you may be rubbing it and doing this, and you're rubbing it, and it feels like your eyes are just focusing on it, and it feels like the spoon is doing this, and you open your eyes, and it's completely solid.
It's completely solid.
And then you just go back in there, and then it says, okay, bend, and then it can loop around once or twice, and
it's very odd. And
so is this a mental thing, or is it actually physically bending?
two different answers. No, it physically bends. Like so they'll say like, 1, 2, 3, bend, and then you kind of apply a pressure, but you're not like rebar and doing that. It's an almost effortless bend, and it'll bend in your hand, and then you'll get it, and you'll try to unbend it, and you can't unbend it as like it's not as
It's
finessey.
not as easy,
You're like So
they do workshops. We and I've written about it. We've written in our magazine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just show me the magazine. Let's talk about it, because I think people need to hear about this too.
So this is the. We're our 10-year anniversary this year, and it's our 5-year anniversary of the magazine.
I got to buy somebody something made of aluminum. 10-year anniversary.
That's right. This is the Austin Seance Quarterly Journal, and so it is devoted to the history and practice of spiritualism. What is this? My camera? That's my camera?
This one right here. Yep,
right there. So this is the Austin Seance Spiritual. It's the Quarterly Journal. We've been putting it out for 5 years, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
We pay all our writers. We pay all our artists. And it's, I'm a print guy. I used to be a print journalist, so print's not dead. So this is not an online publication. If you want this publication, you have to subscribe to it. But we have each of the art magazines will have PhDs who are religious studies professors. We have professional journalists. A friend of mine from the LA Times is a freak.
A couple of your guests have written for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we have guests. So some of your guests, Brandon Hodge has been a guest here. Joseph Laycock have written for this magazine. So this is all about the history of spiritualism. It also includes like how-to articles about the tarot. It's about spoon bending and that sort of thing. So
I might have to give me one of those books.
Y'all
gonna see me out here.
Spoons everywhere.
I might be bending everything by next week.
Yeah.
So anyway, if your viewers dig this, they can see how to subscribe at austinseance.com. The subscription rates are super cheap. You can get like for a year, it's like $25. So, and we'll send it to your house. And
while we're here, because I have a couple more questions, but I'm gonna just while we're on this topic,
lightning round.
Where can people contact y'all, find y'all? Instagram, what is it?
We have all the socials. So we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
MySpace?
No, not MySpace. I don't know. We have all of them. They're on TikTok.
And it's the Austin Seance.
The Austin Seance. There's a the in there. So it's the Austin Seance. We have a website, theaustinseance.com. So you can find all about us there. We'll have, I don't think we have anything on the calendar at the moment. We'll probably at some point be throwing some up there. But they can certainly reach out to me, and if they get on our mailing list, we'll let them know. Our sessions invariably sell out pretty quickly. And so if you'd like to come to one of our sessions, it's good to get on our mailing list so you can get tickets early.
And we have a variety of workshops that we do throughout the year. So seances we do throughout the year, workshops we do throughout the year. So we do workshops on psychometry, which is touching an item and getting an impression of the person who owns that item or possessed it. Tasseography, which is tea leaf reading, Ouija boards, talking boards, table tipping. I don't know if you've ever done table tipping, where tables are bouncing and moving around.
That's still crazy to me. I talked to Brandon Hodge about that. And the way he's explaining it, I'm like, I gotta see this to believe it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we do a whole workshop on just table tipping, and you'll sit there and the table will start going.
We do on EVPs.
On EVPs, we do
electronic voice
phenomenon. Yeah.
So we have a whole menu of workshops that we conduct.
And they're a lot of fun. I want to put a plug on that. They're a lot of fun in that, like, these aren't traditional workshops. I think you go to a psychic fair or a festival or a store, and you may hear somebody lecture for 45 minutes about something, and then this kind of, and then go try it at home. Or it's kind of like this. Within the first 10, 15 minutes, you're playing games, you're doing stuff that's getting you involved and getting you ready, and then you're just kind of engaging in the thing. And the idea, again, is you get to go home and you get to do this. We're going to make you an expert, hopefully, by the end of the hour or 2 hours, and you can go and do this yourself.
And they're super fun.
They're a lot of fun.
They're like mostly lot of laughing, and you know, some of the sessions I think, and I've talked to Albert about it, I think, you know, would be fun for kids actually, but I guess they might run us out of town. But I think like the tea leaf reading workshop would be fun for kids. The Ouija workshop probably be fun.
Ouija
for
4
kids.
is a lot of fun. Yeah,
it'd be fun for kids. I mean, it's, you know, but anyway, they're fun.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
I got one last question, or it may be, I don't know. Well, I'm gonna just
We'll see.
Okay,
tell
throw
you.
it out
So I want to give y'all the floor. Either you guys have a message for the people watching that you guys want people to understand something, know something, have knowledge upon something, or something about your guys' self individually that they may not learn from tonight or this video, or just haven't learned from you in general.
That's a tough one.
It's a very broad one.
That's a very broad one.
Yeah. You know, for me, I think, you know, I definitely dearly love the occult and the supernatural, and I find a deep fascination in it, not only in like the belief and why we believe in the experiences that we have. I love listening to people's experiences. I love people sharing, you know, their own insights into these things. You know, just because I'm not a believer doesn't mean I'm a curmudgeon misanthrope that's going to like be dismissive. I definitely enjoy it, and I definitely like to listen to it. And I think that for me, you know, I really delve into the history of it. There's so much rich history. You had Brandon Hodge on, and he can go into the history. There's so much of it, and the things that we do today in so many other areas of, you know, the modern kind of Wiccan, the New Age movement. So much of that ties into this movement of spiritualism that occurred, and mesmerism that occurred right at the beginning of the 1800s, and spiritualism in the mid 1800s, that really kind of influenced those traditions now, those faith practices. But not only that, the movement of spiritualism itself had a profound impact on American culture. It changed parts of our religion. It changed some of our social issues, influenced our social issues. You know, it was arm in arms with women's suffrage and rights and abolition, and it changed our literature. There's so much of that history that is forgotten and not really taught, and oftentimes misunderstood. And just taking a small dive into it, you can just learn so much, and I have a different kind of appreciation for it. And I think that's where mine is really in that, like, how rich that history is, how rich of the continuation. I love that you set this up by the fire also. I like this, like, the art of storytelling. Jake talks a lot about that in our seance at the end, is us sharing these kind of stories. And
Around the fire.
And I've always enjoyed just sitting there and someone going, when I was one time,
Yeah,
I did this thing, or I was out in the woods, you know. And, you know, we all have those stories. I have my own stories where things happened that were inexplicable. I wish I knew more about them, but they were great. So that's my word. Jake?
Well, that's very good. I mean, I think we're very devoted. I mean, I think we are a collaborative devoted to education. And so I think that as part of that, we are completely devoted. That's why the magazine makes sense for us, because this is, you know, this isn't like a spook magazine. This is about spiritualist history. And so we're very much devoted to that idea, and that's part of what we do. The other thing for me personally, and I think that this is where Albert and I are different, is that I am, I think, and we all are to a certain degree on a journey. Man, I'm trying to find meaning. Man, I'm trying to find something that makes sense to me. And I think that the seance room allows me to think about some of these really heavy questions that are kind of transcend our own experience. And I think that I feel like there's something there. I can't quite put my finger on it. But sometimes I, you know, through what we do in the seance room, it allows me to kind of embrace that to a certain extent. And I think it's important for that reason. I feel like, when people have a really strong experience in the seance room, I feel it, you know, I feel it. And so I don't know what to do with that, but I feel like they're in a safe place because I'm kind of right there with them to a certain degree. So
I hear you. Well, man, I want to say thank you to both of y'all.
Oh man,
for making
Yeah,
our way out
it's
here.
our honor, man.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Thank you so
And
much.
I love what you're doing. We
Yeah.
love this. This is a wonderful thing that you've set up here, and I
Thank
wish you all the success.
I appreciate
this.
that. I want to encourage people to go to the Austin Seance and go check it out. Go get y'all some tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to do all this stuff that may haunt y'all asses at home, but hopefully not.
We'll give you the matches. Don't play with them in your house. Play with them in your neighbors.
That's right. Yeah, we do exorcisms. That's $1,000.
That's right.
That's after.
Oh man, but yeah, man. I just want to say thank you guys. I'm grateful for you guys being here, having a conversation with me, with us, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in, for liking, subscribing, and even sharing the channel. Please continue to do so. Stay tuned. Stay horrible.